Welcome. My name is Chris Carr, aka Natural Body Man, and I'm here to invite you for our muscle gaining video. We're going to learn about the 5 factors that it takes to gain your muscle mass, taking a proper inventory. Number 2, preparation. Number 3, the exercises. Number 4, nutrition. And number 5, rest, recovery. Into the inventory. It's good to review the last 6 months of your exercise history. Have you been strength training these last 6 months? Okay? If yes, especially in the last couple of weeks and month, then you will be ready to begin this workout. If you have not strength trained with weights, dumbbells, with plates, or with bands, then you may want to work out with weights and dumbbells for about a month to 6 weeks before you start this program. 2 months. Where do you want to gain the weight? Would you like to gain it in your legs, in your butt, in your chest, your back, and your shoulders? So we need to figure that out too. That way you'll gain the weight where you want to. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to do the exercises and set aside time to gain this muscle mass? Are you willing to eat only certain types of food? Are you willing to do the sleep that it needs to take to recover the muscle? Okay? We also need to take a look at your injuries. Okay? Your long-term injuries and your short-term. Do you have any injuries in the last couple of weeks, we'll need to rehabilitate those injuries. You'll need to rehabilitate them and come back, and then you can gain your muscle mass. Okay? It's very important. And lastly, your specificity. Is there an activity you play? Do you play softball? Are you a dancer? Do you play soccer? Or something of this nature? And would like to be more competitive at your sport. And if you are, then we can take a look at the muscles that will give you the advantage. If you are a soccer player, you use your butt and your legs and things like that. So then you would gain more weight in your glutes and your legs, as opposed to a baseball pitcher who would gain it more in their shoulder to throw the ball faster. Okay? Or maybe mixed martial arts fighter who would want strong forearms, strong shoulder, explosive hips, what have you. Okay? So that's our inventory. Make sure you adhere to it. Again, if you're a real new beginner with weights, then I recommend you do some weight training with a professional or on your own and be careful, and then come back to this in about 2 months, because this is kind of serious stuff. Number 2, preparation. It's important to prepare yourself. Almost anything in life, it's very important. You'll notice better results, and especially with gaining muscle mass. I recommend that when you start this, to be stress-free, at work, to be stress-free, in school, no big major exams, so that way you can focus all your energies on gaining the new you, your new muscle mass. Okay? Preparation. Also, a week before you start, it's also very good to keep a diary of your foods. And that way you can see what foods we're eating, and that way we'll be changing that as we enter this video. For most of us. Some of us are already eating the same food. Also, very important, tell yourself positively, I'm going to gain this muscle mass. It's going to be the best weight I've ever gained. And in doing so, it will. Take away any doubts. If you've been skinny all your life, take away that doubt. Because this is the new you. It's your time. It's now. Okay? Another thing I recommend is to gain no more than 10% of your body weight. Okay? So if you weigh 150, let's not go above 165. Really the safest way is to gain about 5% of your body weight. So if you weigh 150, times that by 0.05, and that's 7.5 pounds. So that's like 62.5 pounds. Normally what happens is we gain more weight. If you weighed 150, you'll gain about 165, and over the next 5 or 6 months you'll go into more definition program, and you'll chop down that little bit of fat that came with that to lean it down to full chiseled muscle. And that's usually what most people do. They bulk up a little bit, they bulk up, and then they lean down. And we also have a lean, tone, and shape video and ebook to go along with that as well. So that is our preparation. Number 3 is the exercises. Exercise is very important. We want to use structural, multi-joint exercises. And the best 3 that we're going to teach you, is number 1, the squat. Number 2, the deadlift. And number 3, the incline press. These are all very powerful exercises, and they move most of the major joints in the body through a decent range of motion. The squat like this, inhale down, exhale up. Okay? You saw my knee joint was moving, my hip joint, my ankle joint, my shoulder joint, all the major joints through a decent range of motion to gain the muscle proportionately. The deadlift, I have a special deadlift. You'll see it in another video on how to do it, but basically it's like this. You hold the weight here versus an Olympic bar. This one is it's a decreased risk of injury, a lot less chance of injury, and I have my clients do it all the time. And you hold the weight out, and you stick your glutes out, and similar to a squat, okay? And then your incline press. The deadlift and the squat work similar joints, a little bit different, but similar. And the incline press focuses more on your upper body, bringing the upper body, shoulders, the scapula, and the chest up, like your shoulders, okay? You know what I'm saying? Works the shoulder joint, the elbow joint, okay? As you see on an incline bench, okay? That will be on an exercise video. So very important. Another thing is that with this exercise program, I call this the AKA German volume training. That is how it was described to me. This is basically 1 rep. Taking 4 seconds to come down. 1 second up. Okay? That's going to increase all the blood circulation, flushing it in the muscles to make it bigger, to make you expand bigger. Okay? And that's 1 repetition. You'll do 10 repetitions in a row. That will equal 1 set. Once that happens, you grab a stopwatch. Make sure you get a stopwatch for this program. Click it on 1 minute. Take a 1-minute break. When it hits 50 seconds, come back and then get ready with the weight and then do it again. And you'll do that 10 times. And there's 10 repetitions in each set, which makes a total of 100 repetitions. So in training, we call that volume. That's a lot of volume for one specific movement. And doing that one specific movement, your body will grow more to how that movement is performed. And that is why we pick these movements, because they work the majority of the major joints of the body through a decent range of motion. So we'll gain the muscle proportionately. Okay? It's fun. It's fun. All right. So another thing, when picking your intensity, pick a weight that you can handle about 10 reps with a decent amount of challenge. And as the sets increase, it will get harder and harder. By the 10th set, you should barely be able to lift up the weight on the 10th set and come down really slow. Another thing about intensity, usually you want to pick an intensity that is 50% of your 1 repetition maximum. So say for instance, you can bench press 200 pounds. Then you'll want to pick 100 pounds which is 50% of your total capacity of what you can push. Okay? So you come down slow with 100 pounds because it's light and you can handle it. All right. Number 4 is nutrition. Nutrition. Very important. Very important. Most important meals. It's all outlined in your ebook. Okay? If you have any detailed questions, check that out. But the basics. Your most important meals are right before and right after your workout. Then the second most important meal is what you eat as soon as you wake up in the morning. And then the third is right before you go to sleep. Okay? So we got that, the workout meal, breakfast, and before sleep. 1, 2, 3. Another thing to add, it's good to eat about 5 to 6 meals minimum. Minimum. For your workout, for your plan, your 4-week plan. This is a 4-week plan. Okay? So I recommend to eat once every 2 to 3 hours, carbs, protein, and your good fats. And that'll be outlined. Okay? Basically, protein, eat 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight that you weigh. Okay? Some of us, that's tough to do. If you can't do it, if you don't like that, then you can go more into the flour. You'll still gain the weight and look good, but you might have more to chisel off in your definition program. Okay? So for example, you weigh 150 pounds, 1.5 grams per pound, 150 times 1.5 equals 225 grams of protein. Another thing, carbs, flour. Let's eat flour that's low glycemic, like that disperse slowly. The sugars disperse slowly over the hours, like brown rice, oatmeal, sweet potato, baked potato, multi-grain bread, things like that. Okay? And your fats. Eat your unsaturated fats that are going to help transport all these nutrients much more efficiently, so you'll pack on that muscle much faster. Okay, number 1, in descending order, number 1 is fish oil, because it has your omega-3 and 6, which is so perfect combination for your muscle and also for your brainwave to become much smarter. Number 2, extra virgin olive oil, cold pressed. Very good. Number 3, avocado. Number 4, almonds. And number 5, you keep looking down the list on the website under weight loss fats in the nutrition and healthy food section. And those are basic good fats to consume. Also flaxseed oil, sunflower oil, and a host of others. Okay? Now the workout meal. During your workout meal, you take in your protein, sugars, and fat. Same thing. Make sure the proteins are easily digestible. Make sure your sugars are simple sugars, coming from fruits or from actual sugar or honey. And number 3, your weight loss fats, your fish oil. That's number 1 recommended. Take a tablespoon or 2 of your fish oil. Check it out on the nutritional video. Okay? Your breakfast. It's important to get in the protein. Hold on a second. I apologize. Also, in your workout meal, for most people, you want to take in 50 grams of the sugar. That would be the equivalent of a banana and a half, 2 bananas, or 4 tablespoons of honey, or 5 or 6 tablespoons of granulated sugar, or maybe two oranges. Okay, things like that. Before and then after the workout. And right before, we're talking like 10 minutes right before. And immediately after the workout, immediately after you stretch, head for that food right away. Your easily digestible proteins, scrambled eggs digest fast. Actually, pineapple is very good. That's in the Lean and Tone Shape video and workout. And that's very good. It stimulates very good to the body. Egg whites, really good. Okay? And a host, if you have some things of your own, then you can use those. Okay? And your fish oils and your weight loss. Again, you want some solid meat. You want a solid meal. protein, like your eggs, your scrambled eggs, your flour, like maybe 2 pieces of multi-grain bread with that egg sandwich. You can put in some cottage cheese and peanuts and turkey, okay? Or if you're more of the oatmeal person and your banana, have the oatmeal and the banana, and then maybe have some additional protein source with that, at least 30 grams, okay? And at nighttime, on your workout days, you can also eat cottage cheese. I recommend 2% cottage cheese. Reasoning why is because the protein is dispersed slowly, so you will constantly have protein in your body while you're sleeping to help more recover and repair the muscle tissue. And in many cases, it's also advantageous to have the cottage cheese in the morning, too, with your breakfast. Okay? So that's nutrition. And fifth, number 5, is when you put all these things together, it's very important to sleep and recover a lot more than normal. You ever see sumo wrestlers? You wonder how they got so big and muscular? I know they got a little bit of chub. It's not much. Most of it is tons of freaking hundreds of pounds of muscle underneath it. And the reason why is because they sleep like 12 to 14 hours a day. And they train crazy and eat tons of freaking food. Okay, beans and rice and tons of freaking protein, chicken and beans and more rice. Okay? So I recommend to you, sleep 10 hours a day. It's only for 1 month. And as a matter of fact, if you do this right, it probably won't even take longer than 10 days to gain the weight. Okay? I've been able to gain the weight and look good in less than a week. You will be amazed. Okay? So basically, rest and recover. If you need to cheap shot it, then if you can only sleep, let's say 6 to 8 hours, then do that. And then take a 2 or a 3 hour nap in the middle of the day. Okay? If you can't fall asleep, just lay still and just chill. And that's almost like resting and recovering. Okay? Because all the proteins are working together to repair the muscle tissue. I am so happy for you. Those are the 5 factors of gaining muscle mass on this muscle day. Enjoy your life. Yeah!